Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly moon cycle reading. So let's just first and foremost check in with how did last week go? Because we've been working on these things that we developed during the new moon in Aries that happened on the 12th. And now, as we are going into this next week, we are actually going to see the culmination, the peak, because we're going to have, that was my drum roll. We are going to have a full moon coming up this week, and that is a place of celebration. So first or second, or whatever number we're at right now, we're gonna pull in our spirit guides, animal guides, ancestors, and also just like check the tone. And this card came out, okay? And let's just sit in this moment and have gratitude, because no matter how it happened, okay, like you started off, it was strong, or you just blew yourself out the, park, you're like, whoa, like you really did a good job, or like, shit, I fell off. I'm not even gonna lie, like I fell off. Like whatever it is that is the feeling for you, let's connect in here. So inhale, exhale. I want you to choose between one of these cards, okay? Whichever one of these cards, just rest with it, okay? I'm gonna give you 3, 2, 1, okay? So you see this card right here, I'm connected. There's also that sign of Gemini. This is indicating that in June, you're going to have a lot of moments to be introspective during that Mercury in retrograde, or look at it from this kind of perspective. Either if you face your fears now during that time, it will be more time for you to just be at peace, be really connected to yourself. If you are having a hard time kind of facing these fears and like really grounding down, that will be the moment in that June period where you're going to be able to do that. So this is denoting that Mercury in retrograde communication that's going to be coming up soon. So it's just saying, be cautious, not be fearful. That's not what it's saying. It's saying just be aware that there is a time coming up in which you can reflect on many things. And just know that if you don't do it before June, June will be the time period for it. So it's neither positive nor negative. It's just simply saying, like, if you feel like your life is so busy, so in a rush, there's really no time for you to be able to kind of focus on yourself or focus on these certain aspects that they really want you to connect with, mostly having to do with like self-esteem and self-assurance and self-trust. Just know in June, baby, it's gonna be all good. No worries. And for those who chose this card, this is all about the education and the knowledge. So right now you are going through this surge of wanting to learn as much as you possibly can. It can be a particular subject, it can be mystical, metaphysical, things like that, but you just feel like you're soaking up all of the energy from the universe right now, and that's what it is. So the universe is saying, I'm sending you teachers, I'm sending you lessons, and pay attention because teachers come in different ways. It's not always just this teacher in this institution or this mentor. Sometimes you see it through videos, or you just, get validation as you are walking around that you were thinking about this thing or you are thinking about that thing, and then the message comes in for you right then and right there. And because of that, keep your heart open. Just know that if you're searching or you're seeking for something, the answers are on its way. They're right around the corner. You will feel that. You will definitely feel that in your heart, in your soul, in every aspect of you, okay? Okay, so we have that. So let's jump into our moon cycle reading. So let's start with channeling. Okay. Thank you, universe, for the opportunity to be here on behalf of each and every one of us who are receiving this moon cycle, moon reading, moon phase healing session in order to use the cards for our highest vibrational good. We connect to our ancestors, archangels, spirit guides, or whatever it is we particularly want to connect with. We are filled with gratitude, we are filled with patience, and we're filled with joy that we have this communication, this understanding, and all of the above. Thank you, 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 thank you. Okay, So connecting in here, we have the child. So what you started on the 12th, this is what the vibe is coming off to me. What you started on the 12th, I hope you all like my nails. I just got them done, sorry. Shameless nail plug. Anyway, what started on the 12th, which was that new moon in Aries, really has something to do with your younger self, really has something to do with a child, your inner child, or Aries quality, because Aries is the youngest sign. Aries represents 0 to 7. So when you're 0 to 7, you start to create these understandings of the world. And then you learn around from the people around you. This is how you do this, or that's how you do that. Sometimes you're absorbing negative things into that as well. But what I'm saying here is that what you started on the 12th is deeply connected to your inner child healing, inner child fulfilling a promise, inner child something. Even if it has to do with something that is maybe much more in your present life, the core or the desire of why you have this really starts from that inner child. So that's really what that April 12th is talking about. So based off of the April 12th universe, what in this upcoming week should they pay attention to pertaining the child, pertaining this connection that they've had? Have they healed what they needed to, or just any relevant or pertinent information in a succinct way in which they can understand it? Please bring that across. Thank you. I am sacred. So this whole thing has been a healing of not feeling like you are enough. So sometimes when people have goals to get more money, or to get in a certain profession, or to get a certain loved one, or discover a certain hobby, or make a certain move, the real core of those things is not feeling like they are enough until they have those things. Not feeling like they are enough until they have the partnership. Not feeling like they're enough until they got the job, or they got, you know, the accolades or something like that. Not feeling like they are enough. So this has been an opportunity from the 12th all the way till now, as a sense of reflection of saying, look, you do not have to have these external things in order to feel like you are enough. So at this moment, you should start to feel that. You're actually getting to a place where the universe is like, it is time to celebrate you. It is time to say, hey, look, you did it, because there's these subtle things that are happening. It's not always like you set out to do something and then you did that thing and then you celebrate that thing. You really are uncovering new and different aspects of yourself each and every day. And so the universe is saying, specifically around Tuesday, April 27th, which will be a full moon in Scorpio, celebrate you. And Scorpio is everything that has to do with the underdog, everything that has to do with the wounded person, just this energy that is kind of giving the message out of like, hey, you know, you are enough. You are enough. You're trying to heal this, but you're enough. You have to work on it inner first before it will come out externally. Any more messages here, universe, specifically with this current progression as we look to the cards and look through the cards? Thank you. Okay, this one jumped out. So we have 10. 10 in numerology can be reduced to 1, which is the number of leadership. And then we have this nurture, release, soothe, and it has that energy of the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra. So this is a very nurturing period for you. So they're saying on Tuesday, April 27th, the universe is sending out the message, you need to be nurturing for yourself. So first and foremost, it's a celebration. It's a celebrate, as they say. It's a celebration, so you're gonna celebrate. But how are you gonna celebrate? On that Tuesday, you need to do something nurturing for yourself, like very nice, like get a massage, or do something relaxing, or something that makes you feel emotionally secure. And then we have this queen, which also could be seen as nurturing. And then we have the Smoky Quartz, which is the third eye, which also gives a lot of Scorpio vibes. Scorpio has a really strong connection to both that sacral and the third eye, because you see Scorpio energy is the natural connection of being able to connect with that psychic energy or metaphysical understandings or things like that. Just being able to see from the third eye, from the mind's eye, to understand this perfect merger between the emotional, energetic, and the spiritual understanding, damn right magical aspects of life. So this message that is coming off here from this Smoky Quartz is saying, hey, really do some channeling, trust in your intuition. I would say actually you should go and do some type of meditation session, or go and do some type of inner channeling to be able to receive whatever messages are coming up on that Tuesday. So got that. Now let's go ahead and see, since we said let's start it off, let's run it back, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Let's go ahead and see, as we're looking, on that 24th, the moon itself is a waxing gibbous. So that's what's going to happen right before it reaches its full moon. It was a waxing gibbous from Wednesday the 21st, which we talked about last week, and all the way to Monday, right before that full moon. And because that is happening on those times, and it started out in Leo and it ended in Libra, it gave different kind of energy as you were getting through it. So remember when we were talking about that first quarter, we said, okay, you're going to see your first challenges / opportunities. It really is up to you to decide, like, you know, if you want to call it a challenge or opportunity, and how you want to go after that, and how you want to kind of focus your energy in that direction. And basically the message that was coming across is that, you know, that Leo energy on the 21st started you off really, really strong. It was like, hey, you know, you feel bold. As you go through with that Virgo energy that happened around that Friday or Saturday, it was really about follow through. Just follow through, follow through, follow through. And then this Libra energy that is the Sunday, the 25th, and the Monday, the 26th, is really about making peace. Just making peace, making peace. So what the hell are you waiting for? Get the shit done. If you are waiting for a sign, well, here it is. So that energy is really what came out on that first quarter coming through. And then you eventually make peace with all of that. You make peace with the fact that you're like, look, what I got done is what I got done. You know, that's the nurturing. But also that Libra energy headed up to the full moon means that you get that social connection, that being with other people, that sense of camaraderie right before that full moon. So on the full moon, you're going to celebrate that nurturing aspect of you. Okay. Universe, are there any specific messages that we should pay attention to during this waxing gibbous phase? That is the Monday, the 26th. I'm going to just pull one of these and then move on to after the full moon. So, whip. So there is something that is going to be very, I wanted to say jittery, but it's more not a jittery. It's going to be just something that's really large and impactful, and that just like really jumps out at you. That really shows you that there is this connection to Scorpio. There's this connection to the full moon energy. I'm going to pull some more. Add a little bit more to this, universe. Appreciate you. I am open to receive. This understanding of reception. So as we said before, me and the universe, as the universe is saying, it's saying that on that Monday, that waxing gibbous is in Libra. I was going to say Reba. I don't know what that is in Libra. So it's saying you have to be open to receive. this nurturing that you're going to capture on that full moon in Scorpio really indicates, are you able to receive things that are coming in? Is it easy for you to be receptive to this energy that's coming in? Are you much more resistant? Are you much more upset? What I mean by upset is like hard for you to determine when someone's trying to do something nice for you, maybe always suspicious that it's a negative thing. Really just depends on you. Next card. And then we have this King card. We have this communication, tranquility, kindness. So for those who chose that first card that had that Gemini on it, it's sending an extra reminder to you. Really practice on being able to receive. Are you able to receive from others? Receive love, just receive gifts, receive people doing things for you without being suspicious. Because, you know, the shadow side of Scorpio can be a little bit suspicious, like kind of like a little too much suspicious from time to time. And then we have this emotional, Botswana agate, we have this emotional healing, the universal love, creativity, the crown chakra. Again, that nurturing that is coming up on the full moon. So, take that. Okay, now let's move past the full moon. So what happens when you move past the full moon? Well, that means the full moon is celebration. It's a place for you to come together, for you to be yourself, for you to celebrate, you know, what you have done, or honestly what you realize, because it's not always about you having to do this physical thing. As I said before, it can be about just having this realization of, you know, wow, I can't believe that I made this through, or I did this, or X, Y, and Z. So after that, on Wednesday, there's going to be that waning gibbous. So after the full moon, now it's going to, you know, slowly shine less and less until you get into the next full moon. Of course, you have another phase before then, but on that Wednesday, the waning gibbous in Scorpio, is there any messages that we should pay attention to here for this waning gibbous in Scorpio on that Wednesday? This one really felt tingly. I am celebrated. Yes, so a huge focus on why you felt like you needed to choose whatever you needed to choose on that 12th on the new moon has to do with you being able to receive support, receive community. So a false sense might be feeling like you need to receive accolades, but you just realize that, like, you know what, as you are, you don't need to change who you are to feel celebrated. There's nothing wrong with going after your goals and your dreams and stuff like that, but it is unnecessary for people to celebrate you or to be around you and it be conditional. This is fun. Okay, I am responsible for my life. So as you are celebrating, you create the celebration. You are the initiation of that celebration. So you start on that Tuesday, but you're going to keep on going into that Wednesday, and Thursday the moon is going to change into Sagittarius, which really supports this. It says, I am a dreamer. So it's really opening you up, and there's this bit of optimism that starts to flow in this week, especially towards that Thursday and that Friday when you have that waning gibbous in Sagittarius. It just really is opening your heart up and opening your mind up to these aspects of you that bring true happiness. It's really hard for me to describe because when we're working with earth elements, it's much more like practical. It's much more like this, that, da, 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 da. But when we're working with these water, Cancer, Scorpio to Pisces, it really is hard to put into words. They always talk about when you're on this a mystical path, metaphysical path, the things you experience oftentimes are hard to put in words. And then when things get translated across language, whoo, child, like you are really looking at something that's difficult to explain. Also, just you experiencing something on your own really, really matters more than anything. Shit is going down with your job. Okay, that jumped there quickly. Let's see. Reevaluate, change your perspective, and fucking quit. Okay, so after this perspective of the dreamer, you're then presented with something new, okay? So you have been celebrating yourself. You've been feeling good. Essentially what's happening here is you're recalibrating your energy. Here's the thing that happens when you recalibrate your energy, though. When you recalibrate your energy, everything that does not flow in this new direction then starts to kind of let go of you. So if you're around toxic people, you have a toxic work environment, or you feel like you're under where you need to be or where you can provide value, once you start feeling better about yourself, once you have a higher sense of self-esteem, once you are much more connected, well, unfortunately, what happens, or actually at the end of the day, it's fortunately, these toxic circumstances start to leave your life. So the universe is saying, especially towards the weekend, you're going to be hit with something working wise. You emotionally are going to be fine, but working wise, you are going to reevaluate, is this something that you should still be doing? Because now that you're free, you're celebrating yourself, you're feeling better, you're like, look, this may not be it. It could mean changing a career. It doesn't mean you have to change a career. It could mean just changing a team, or changing the way that you approach things, or, you know, changing a company. You know, it doesn't really always have to be a career change, but if it's a big career change, it could be like, this doesn't work anymore. You finally want to chase after your dreams because you know what you were searching for. You were saying like, oh, it's not until I get my dreams I'm going to feel like I'm enough. Now you know you're already enough. Now you know that dreaming starts. It creates the vision. And then you take the vision and you run with it, and it makes you feel good, and you have your purpose that you're bringing into light each and every day. You're like whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. You feel good about it. And you know that other stuff, it could be people too, baby. It could be people too. You know, sometimes it's not even the job, it's just a toxic environment. You might love everything about your job, but you might feel like the coworkers are off, or you love your coworkers, and you might feel like your manager or the leadership is off, or you might feel like it's a little bit of a dead end. It really is kind of up to you, but it's going to come up to you because there's something bigger and badder. Okay, universe, please give us some more guidance about this change. Let me change over, because the Friday ends in that Waning Gibbous in Sagittarius. And then I'll give you a little bit of Saturday, which will be May 1st. Hello, shout out to Taurus season. My wife's a Taurus, so. Okay, so heading over into that Saturday, which is of course still the Waning Gibbous, but it goes into Capricorn. That's what this is talking about. You're really going to be reevaluating this over the weekend. And really the way that it feels, like the way that the cards are presenting that it feels, you feel so good about this new understanding that you just can no longer accept less than what you feel like you deserve. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Over the weekend, you're like, why did I play small for so long? Why did I sit and just feel nervous about everything that I wanted to do all the time? You know, what strategically is my best move? You might just, it might not even be a negativity thing. You might just be like, well, you know what? It's time to make this bitch bigger and badder. So what the fuck am I about to do? You know, that kind of energy going on there. Okay. I am safe. So as you are making this change, as you are going forward, as you're making this new decision about this path, you need to understand that you're safe, because a lot of times people don't feel like they have security, and that's why they stay in these kind of like dead end positions that no longer work for them. Know that you are safe. Know that you are safe. Know that you are safe. You know, I like this saying, everything is figure outable. Okay. There's nothing that's going to come up in your life that's not figure outable. And it's scary at first to leave what you know to go to something that you don't know, but that the goal is that it vibrates with this higher vibrational experience as you are leveling up in life. The goal is that it works out, but it's scary. And the thing that's the most scary about it usually is not the transition itself, but the brain, the thoughts, the stories you make up about this transition and what it means. In fact, you might feel like in order for it to be the right move, you have to hit this lottery, that the next things, everything falls into place. It's just, it's kind of spoiling the mind, or kind of It shows the insecurities of the mind so much so that it needs more than what it actually needs to feel comfortable. A part of this process and going towards where you really need to be going is learning how to be comfortable with uncertainty and transition and just movement in general, so that you're going to a higher vibrational experience. Don't, be feeling good about yourself, then start to make this transition and start feeling bad about yourself because you are afraid of walking into this new thing. You just got to be open with the fact that, hey, this is going to look whatever it's going to look like. I trust it. I'm going to keep going with it. And sometimes, look, I'm going to give you a little cheat code here. If you got to listen to affirmations all day long, positive affirmations, if you got to keep your mind busy. I got a homegirl who was like, hey, if you feel like you're stuck in your thoughts, keep your mind busy. Keep your mind busy. Have something playing in the back. I know people don't really do this anymore because they don't really listen to the radio. But back in the day, how you just listen to the radio. You'd have the radio playing on in the house. Okay, I'm about to really date myself. I walked into a Rainbow recently. If y'all know what a Rainbow is, y'all know, the store. I walked into the clothes store Rainbow and they were playing the radio, and I'm just like, wow. It literally took me back. I was like, whoa, I remember those times where people would be walking, literally, you just play the radio and it was normal, if you really know, you recorded the radio too. That's before a lot of stuff. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that just play music. You can play music on your computer. You can play music through the TV. You can put something on in the background, something that won't let you just sit and be with your thoughts. You can even, if you're showering, you can play something on your phone or get connected to a speaker or something like that, and really just let that stuff go. It is time to do this energetic detox to remove it. And it could also be an actual in-person detox too, with food and things like that. Drink a smoothie, unfriend that asshole, and throw some shit out. It's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. This whole process from the first, it kind of feels like it was focused on, even if it was a baby step going towards a new career, a new way of making money, a new way of, supporting yourself and living in your purpose. And it's saying, look, you've accomplished that energetically. Physically, it's going to take its time. But in order to get that, you got to continue to let that other stuff go. So that's pretty much what's coming up for you in this upcoming moon cycle, moon phase. Stay connected with yourself. Continue to trust yourself. Let's do some more cards. Universe, anything else that we should pay attention to during this week coming up, and extra kisses to remember to celebrate during this full moon cycle. Okay, thank you. Aw, isn't that cute? Extra kisses to celebrate in the full moon cycle, and you got the rose quartz, which is compassion, self-esteem, love. For those who chose that Gemini, this message really is a connection, just reminding you, because those who chose the book have this principle within them. So it's just more of a validation. Those who chose that Gemini, it's saying, look, it's the time to love yourself. All of this stuff that you are perceiving as hard or tough or needs to be worked on and stuff, it really is just the process of self-love. And that's crazy that the process of self-love can be so hard sometimes. It really is. It's okay. It's not nothing crazy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And just be open and be loving towards yourself. Faith. Have faith. Understanding what is your cross to bear and what isn't. Sometimes when you are transitioning away from a work environment, you might think it is your cross to bear. How many times, let me just run this back. How many times, and this could be transitioning from people to friendships, situations, love, family drama, shit that has to do with your hobbies, working stuff. How many times has a person who could be fired for any reason, any irrational reason, felt like they didn't want to leave because they didn't want to let their team down, knowing that they could be fired at will for any reason? That's toxic. That's a toxic mentality. If you don't feel like there is something that, you know, is worth your while at your job, where you're like, okay, you know, I'm getting something. If you don't feel that way, and you feel like it's okay for you to be fired for any reason, and it's not really where you should be anymore, you should really consider somewhere else. And it's saying, look, baby, take that risk. It's saying, take that risk. You see it as something very risky to jump out there and start to work on dreaming something bigger and something better. But the universe is like, look, you have to face your fears. Now, facing your fears doesn't necessarily mean you get up the next day, you quit your job, and you're like, fuck this. No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means face your fears. Face your fears might be like, wow, if you really want to leave this role, maybe you need to reskill into something, and that's going to take a couple of months, and you just have to deal with it. Deal with the discomfort of learning something new. Or maybe it does mean like you've been kind of working below or underemployed where you're at, and you're just like, look, I think it's time to make this leap and go, and just really start putting those applications out and start interviewing. Interviewing can be scary. Or if you're trying to start your own thing, you start by saying, look, I'm gonna get this thing up and going, and then make the decision of when you're ready to leave and when you're ready to go. Have a plan, like, gonna work on this for the next 6 months, gonna work on this for the next year. Some people will just quit their job and work on, you know, whatever their hobby is or their goal or their passion. This is what I say. Quit when you feel like your business or whatever you're doing cannot survive without you. Because if it can survive by you being able to have that security from the dead-end job, but then at the same time you're building something up, you're gonna, you know, save yourself from that initial mental like feeling crazy. But if it's one of those things where you're like, this is what you have to do, and you've never done this kind of behavior before, you know, at least one time try. But it's up to you. It really is. You got to make your own decisions and make your own choices, but you have to face your fear, and you have to face your fear in a responsible and practical way. It doesn't mean, some people feel like facing their fears really is, okay, you got to do this big, huge thing. No, honestly, sometimes facing your fears is learning how to be able to be in an environment you don't like and use that as motivation to get to where you need to go. And then when you're ready to go, to let it go. That's much more courageous than just quitting and being like, I'm going to do this thing. Like, you know, make sure it works very smoothly. Now, if you're a single person and you have no responsibilities, you have much more leeway to just kind of do what you want to do. But if you have responsibilities, you know, you have responsibilities, continue to check in, make sure that you're doing what you need to do there. And the clear quartz, which is this master healer, it amplifies, it enhances. It is saying that you are getting a clean slate. Today is the first day for you. So really hold that in your heart and hold that in your understanding. During this week, you go through all of these different phases, and finally it is cleared and it is cleansed. So as you look at whatever you want to do as you go forward in the future, just trust in the fact that this process is working. It is working for your highest good and your highest benefit. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this week's moon cycle, moon phase reading. You know, we have this every week. And if you'd like to get access to the extended reads, which are weekly card pull sessions based off of your sign, sun, moon, and rising, hop on over to the link in the description box, Patreon, and you could join. And it is only $3.33 a month. You cannot beat that with a bat. If you get it for the year, there's even more of a discount, okay? So something that's really helpful as you start your week off. I really enjoyed this session. Cannot wait to see you next time. And of course, look ahead to those pick a card sessions that are during the week. Yes, bitch. See you next time, y'all.